Okay, let's talk about SAM.gov. If you've ever felt like you're just shouting into a black hole trying to get validated, trust me, you are so not alone. It can be one of the most maddening parts of running an organization. But that's going to change today. We're going to break down the exact playbook to get you approved and skip all that endless, painful back and forth.
Sound familiar? You submit your documents, you wait, and you're met with, well, crickets. Or even worse, a rejection with some super cryptic explanation. Look, let me be really clear. This is a ridiculously common problem, but the good news? It is completely solvable. We're going to get you unstuck, for good.
Let's just get one thing straight right now. The problem isn't you. It's not your company. It's not your paperwork. The problem is the system itself has all these unwritten rules. Think of it like a highway with really, really bad signage. You're not a bad driver. You just haven't been given the map. Well, consider this your personal GPS.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to unlock this secret 2Q system that's behind basically all the confusion. Then, we'll build the perfect submission packet for both of those queues. I'm even going to give you a 60-minute game plan to get from stuck to submitted. And finally, we'll wrap up with your clear path to approval. Okay, let's dive in.
This right here, this is the key. This one concept unlocks the entire process. I'm not kidding, almost all the delays and rejections happen because people don't realize that SAM.gov is secretly asking two totally different questions, and it has two separate lines or queues to handle them. The whole system gets so much simpler when you see it as two different lines at a really busy bakery. The EVL queue is all about proving your identity, who your organization is and where it physically exists. The EAAL queue, on the other hand, is for proving authority, who has the legal right to manage the account. Mixing these two up is the #1 mistake. It's like trying to pay for your bagel in the passport photo line. It just won't work. Okay, so let's focus on that first line, the EVL. This is purely a matching game. It's all about confirming your legal name and, this is critical, your physical street address using official documents. And importantly, no notary is required for this part. Now for that second line, the EAL. This one's only for a very specific situation. You need it when you're appointing a new entity administrator, because there's no current one who can just do it for you. This is all about legal authority, which is exactly why it needs a formal, notarized letter. All right, let's get practical. Let's build your submission, starting with the biggest hurdle for most people, the Entity Validation, or EVL, packet. We're going to build one that's designed to pass on the very first try. No rejections. Your perfect zero-rejection EVL packet contains just 3 things. That's it. First, you need proof from the IRS. Think a CP 575 or 14C letter. Second, you'll grab a printout from your state's business registry. The one that shows you're active and in good standing. And third, a recent bank or utility statement. Now, here's the absolute non-negotiable golden rule. Your legal name and your physical address have to match, and I mean exactly, across all 3 of those documents. I really can't say this enough. Before you even think about hitting that upload button, put all 3 documents side by side. I mean, physically if you can. Check every comma, every period, every single suite number. It's all about precision. Trust me, 5 minutes of careful checking right now will save you 5 weeks of waiting for a response later. And here are the landmines you've got to avoid. Using a P.O. box for a physical address, that's an instant rejection. Never, ever submit screenshots. You need the full PDF. Even a tiny mismatch in punctuation, like LLC versus LLC, can get you flagged. And please, don't try to be helpful by throwing in extra stuff like your bylaws. It just confuses the reviewer. And the big one, if your bank address is wrong, get it fixed before you submit a single thing. So to wrap up the EVL strategy, it's not about finding one magical, perfect document. It's about providing 3 separate documents that all point the exact same truth. It's about triangulation. And remember, your bank statement is often your most powerful tool here because it's usually the easiest one to get updated to match your official state records. All right, let's switch lanes and talk about that second queue, the EAL. Now, this one's less common, but when you do need it, you absolutely have to get it right. First things first, let's ask the most important question. Do you even need this thing? The answer is only yes if 2 things are true. 1, you are appointing a new entity administrator. And 2, there isn't a current admin who can simply log in and assign that role. If you have an active admin, great, you can skip this whole section.
This brings us to the most critical rule for the EAL. Your titles must be official. This is not the time for fun, creative, internal job titles. The person signing this letter has to have a formal title that appears on your official state records like secretary, CEO, or treasurer. I mean, this story says it all, right? Head of stuff is charming, sure, but secretary is what actually gets you approved.
You know, when it comes to the actual notarization, it's the smallest little details that can make or break your entire submission. These tiny, easy-to-miss things are the hinges that decide whether that big door to approval swings open or just stays slammed shut. So here is your checklist. Go through this before you leave the notary's office. Make sure the state, and especially the county lines, are filled in. That's the most commonly missed detail. Check that the seal is clear and crisp, not a blurry mess. And make sure the notary's commission expiration date is perfectly visible. A smudged seal or a missing county can literally cost you days of waiting. So your takeaway for the EAL is pretty simple. Think of this as a mirroring exercise. Use the exact official term, entity administrator. Use official officer titles, nothing creative. And please, triple-check those tiny notary details, county, seal, and date, before you walk away. Okay, we've covered all the theory. Now let's put it into action. I'm going to give you a 60-minute game plan that will take you from where you are right now, probably stuck, to having a clean, confident submission ready to go. Seriously, set a timer. For the first 15 minutes, just gather your 3 EVL documents and compare them. Circle any little differences. If that bank address is off, use this time to call them and start getting it fixed. For the next 20 minutes, combine those 3 docs into a single PDF, maybe with a simple cover sheet. The final 10 minutes? That's just for uploading it with a clear, simple description. And of course, if you do need that EAL, you can work on drafting and notarizing it on a parallel track. This whole thing is really about proactive preparation. Taking this one focused hour today is going to save you from weeks of panic, scrambling, and frustration later. It's the best return on investment for your time you can possibly make in this process. We've gone over a ton of ground, but honestly, it all boils down to one core idea and one immediate action you can take to finally get some momentum. Okay, forget everything else for just a minute. Here is your single next step. It's going to take you less than 15 minutes. Create a new folder on your desktop. Go download your 3 documents, IRS, state, and bank. Now just put them next to each other and find the differences. Circle them. That's it. With that one simple action, you will have identified exactly what needs to be fixed. You've officially started. So there you have it. You've got the map. You understand the 2 separate lanes, identity and authority. You know exactly which documents to grab and what landmines to sidestep. The only question left is, what's the one small, tidy thing you're going to do today to get yourself unstuck and finally get your organization across that finish line?